Hi everyone, welcome to this second tutorial of StarSpore. In the previous video we discovered how to browse the ship library, how to navigate within a ship. Now we're going to see how to create a new blueprint, how to create a new ship. So for doing that I need to log on to my game environment. So I'm clicking on my game, and because I'm not logged in yet, nothing displays here. The reason for that is that the blueprints that you are going to create are going to be stored on the server, and you need to be registered and logged in to know under which name and which location those are going to be stored. So let me log in and come right back. So now that I am logged, I can see the various ships, the various blueprints I created already. I created 4 of these. I named them Big Toad, Cruiser, Fighter and Sphere. And as you can see with the note here, I can create up to 5 blueprints in my account. That limitation may be modified over time, but for now just simplify things to make sure that there cannot be more than 5 blueprints per account. Anyway, as long as I did not reach that limit, I can create a new ship. I'm going to do that now, call it tutorial, and say create new ship. This opens the Unity environment, the Unity builder, and here it is. Now I've got this piece of hull that I'm going to model and morph so that it looks like the kind of ship I want. If you remember from the previous tutorial, the way to navigate around the ship are still here, and they are basically the same. So if I right click on the mouse, I can rotate around this piece of hull. Okay, so we are going to talk about 2 things in this first video: modules and soldering, which are the first 2 tools that are made available here. Modules is selected by default, and it allows me to create a new piece of hull, to copy a selection, although there isn't going to be a lot of things to copy here, and to delete something. So the limit within the current version of the blueprint designer is 16 pieces of hull, I believe. So if I click on new dice hull here, I'm creating a second piece. If I click on new again, I'm creating a third piece, and so on and so forth. Now these things can be moved around if I'm not happy with the current location. If I select one of these, and you can see that there's the green selection box that goes around it, and then I left click on it and hold the left button, I can move this thing around, and the spaceship designer will detect automatically what is the best kind of movement that I can provide to it. So here I'm moving it on the, I guess it's the Z-axis and the X-axis here probably, and if I look from the top, I'm going to be able to move it from the Y and the X-axis. If I hit delete on the keyboard, or delete here, I can remove a piece of hull that I'm not happy with. Now at some point you might create pieces that are more complex, and it might be useful to be able to copy a design that you already have, for example to create several times the same engine or the same pieces of hull. So you can just, for doing that, select one thing and hit copy selection, and that will copy automatically what you've selected, and here it's created this piece here. We'll probably look at that again when we work on the hull modification functionalities. Anyway, that's about it for this modules tool. Now let's look at soldering. So soldering is about connecting pieces of hull together. The first mode that you have is face soldering. For activating this, you can just click on the face of the hull. So there are only 6 faces that you can modify here. You see, if I click on these guys, nothing is being highlighted, no selection is being made. This is because these faces here are only used to connect, let's call the bearing faces of this piece of hull. However, if I click on those big faces here, I am selecting them. If I select 2 different faces and then hit solder, I'm going to connect those 2 pieces of hull, and actually I can look inside. Let me get inside to see how that looks like from within the ship. So the environment automatically opened this the side and creating the connection, and this connection is going to be updated if I move things along. For example, if I go back to the module tool here and move this guy, is going to be automatically updated. Now you may not want to solder an entire face, you may want to solder a piece of it. So if I go back to soldering, this time I'm going to select area. Let me go back to the center mode, and this time I'm going to click on the face, and as you can see, there's only one part that gets highlighted. If I click somewhere else, that creates some kind of a selection area. To cancel this selection, I need to click on the initial point again. So this will allow me to make more subtle soldering. So I can just solder this part with this other part here. And again, if I solder those 2 guys, you can see that the environment automatically created links just where I asked for. And again, if I look inside, things have been done as expected, and the right part of the inside hull has been opened. So that's about it for this tutorial on modules and soldering. The next tutorial will be about basic hull modification, basic hull morphing.